Let's take a look at another example. So here in the scene, as you see, I have a skirt mesh and I have a tank top. So I don't want to simulate both of them. The reason is, as you see, we have a gap between them, right? And there is no intersection or collision will happen between them. So there is no need to simulate both of them at one time. So let's first select the tank top and hide that. And I'm going to simulate the skirt first. So let's select that and let's go to enclose and let's click on create enclose. And if I select the geometry, you'll notice here I set the friction to 0.4 and 0.4 for thickness 2. Just I wanted to mention that for you. So now let's pin the skirt or the cloth to the body. So we can do that by right clicking here. So let's select the vertices. So if I select the first vertex and shift and double click on the next one, I am selecting the loop. And here again, double click. And because this is not a uniform loop, so we need to do that there too. You don't have to select the second line, but let's do that. It's enough to select just the first one. So let's do for that too. And okay. So now let's shift and select the body and let's go to end constraint and let's click on point on surface or point to surface. And I want to hide the ground. So now let's select the cloth and let's go to the shape and I want to make a couple of changes here. So the first thing I want to change is the stretch resistance. I want to set that to 150. And another thing I want to change is to add a little bit of damp there. So 0.08, it's good value, I think. And let's give it a try and see. So let's go to Encache and let's steer that off. And let's click on an object. The cache is finished. So let's take a look at the result. As you see, we have some problems there. So if I scroll down, if I scroll that, let's see. As you see here, we have some intersection between the polygons. So if I hit 3 on the keyboard, we can see that better. So the reason is because if I go to the first frame and notice how the polygons are too close to each other, as you see. So, and really we can fix that by going to nucleus and we can scroll down to the substeps and I want to increase that too much. For example, I want to set that to 18 and I want to increase the max collision iterations to about 10. And this should fix that problem. So as I said, the polygons are too close, as you see. That's why we get that black color on it. So let's scroll here and see again. As you see. So let's try it again. Let's select that and replace existing, and this will take a little bit longer to calculate. The cache is finished and I created a play blast. So let's take a look at that. As you see, we get rid of most of that black areas. If you're still getting that, you need to increase them a little bit more, the substeps or the max iteration too. So I am really happy with the result. So now let's go ahead and work on the tank top. So now we need to hide that. And now let's show the tank top. and let's go to the first frame. As I said, because there is no interaction between the two pieces, that's why I am creating every piece separately. So now let's select that, let's go to enclose and let's click on create enclose. And as you see, we're still getting that problem. I don't know, the color is gone again. So let's select that and let's assign new material. Let's assign a Lambert and let's make it brighter and add a little bit of ambient to make it a little bit more brighter here. And if you still get that weird normals, so you need to select that, and again you need to go to the modeling, and in the mesh display you need to click on set to face, and then you need to click on soften edge to fix that. So let's select that, and I want to change the stretch resistance to 150 again. And as you see, the close is a little bit big, right? So you can scale that, but really it will be difficult to match the vertices on the body. But there is really a cool trick here. So you need to select that. There is cool attribute here called rest length scale. So we will give the job to Maya to scale that down. So I want to scale down about 5%. So I need to set this value to 0.95. So now the simulation will scale down the cloth, and really very cool attribute. So I think that's it. I can add a little bit of damp there too, for example 0.07, and I want to go to the collisions and I want to add friction to that 0.4, and let's add a little bit of stickness to 0.3, and let's now click on cache. I stopped the cache because I wanted to mention here in the skirt mesh, the simulation took about 10 minutes. And so the reason I stopped the cache because we need to go to the nucleus, and as you see we increase the substeps, right? But now we don't need to increase that for this piece, so there is no need to wait 10 minutes again. So let's make that back to 5 and this one to 4, and this will be okay. So let's cache it again. So the cache is finished and it took about 3 minutes, and as you see again we have this black normals. So let's go to modeling and let's go to mesh display and click on set to face, and now it's very sharp, so we need to soften that to go to soften edge. This is better. So as you see at the first frames, when if I scroll that, as you see the cloth shrinks. This is because the attribute I told you about, the rest length scale. So now let's show the skirt and let's create a play blast for that. So the play blast is finished and let's take a look. And I am really happy with the result. So great, I hope you enjoyed. So see you in the next lesson.